Hey guys, it's Jenny with Creature Cove. Today is going to be a little different than our normal days. I felt like I needed to hop on here and maybe apologize for my absence. It's been a while, and at first it was just because it was the Christmas season and I love Christmas, and I'm very family oriented when it comes to Christmas and I do a lot. But then it became a little different and I started having some weird things going on. Like the weirdest one was I suddenly couldn't read anymore. So I love reading, and that's kind of how I noticed. Was I was reading one of my books one night and I couldn't like make it through sentences. I was like, what is that word? It was just really, really weird. But then I started having more serious issues where I would actually like my husband thought they were seizures, but I was there. Like, I know when you have a seizure, you aren't there anymore. Like you don't even know you had a seizure when you come out of the seizure. But I was having these things where I would just like stop dead and I would start like repeating the same word, and a lot of times it wasn't even a word, it was like a nonsense word, because that's the other thing I was doing was I couldn't even think of words anymore when I would talk. I'd just make up a nonsense word all of a sudden, and it sounded great to me, but everybody's like, I don't know what that means. And so I'd start like just stop dead. Sometimes my hands would go out like this, and I would start repeating the same word or nonsense word over and over and over. And then I would like come back to after they started off at like only a minute to 2 minutes long. I'd get like stuck in this, where I'd completely freeze. And then, but I knew I was doing it because in my head, I'm like, as I'm repeating this word, I'm like, is that a word? Is that really a word? Does it sound right? You know, even if it was, I was like, I don't know if that's a real word. But for some reason I couldn't move. I couldn't make myself move and break out of that weird that weird thing I was going through. So my husband just kind of started watching me. He thought they were seizures, but I kind of knew they weren't. And then they started lasting longer, where they'd be like 5 minutes, and then right afterwards I'd have like a massive panic attack, which I've never had in my life before. I'd never had issues like that. Also, I'm really sorry about what this is doing. I know it's because the windows are behind me, but I don't want my kids to hear me doing this video. So anyway, I know it's not going to be technical. I just wanted to get something out there. But so then I started having them for longer, and then I'd have a massive panic attack afterwards where I would just like start crying and uncontrollably. I couldn't stop myself from doing it. And it was never about anything. I would just start crying and shaking, and then that would last a little bit. So there was that, and then we went to the doctor. Doctor did some blood work, came back pretty normal, just a couple of things that were weird. But he was like, I think this is beyond me. You need to go to a neurologist. So I went to the neurologist. Also, as I'm getting these symptoms, like other things are starting. So like, I had to stop driving because my vision was now being weird, and I was seeing things, not like hallucinations. I knew what I was seeing wasn't real. And it was always animals, which I thought was kind of funny, because animals are my life. So why wouldn't it be animals I was seeing? But I would start seeing animals everywhere, but I knew they weren't real. Like, I'm like, why am I seeing these animals? And a lot of times they were made into things. So like if you look at a tile floor and it has like a pattern to it, well, in the pattern I would see animals. It was very bizarre. But again, I was there. Like, I knew I was seeing things that weren't there. So it's not like I was like schizophrenic, where, you know, I believed what I was seeing and nobody was talking to me. So that had progressed. Went to the neurologist, and she's like, well, we're going to run all of these tests on you. We're going to do an MRI with contrast, CT scans, like just a whole slew of tests and a whole bunch of blood work. And when all that comes back normal, I'm going to tell you that you have one of two things. And then she gave me the names of them, and I forgot, but they were basically, I was doing it to myself, that I was so stressed out because I do have a very stressful life, more so than what you guys even know. It's not just the animals. I just have a lot of other things. Like, I've got 3 kids, and I've got something stressful with each one of them happening, and whatnot. So I just have a lot. I have a lot to be stressed out about. And so they said, my doctor, the neurologist, is like, you know, when all those medical tests come back, I'm going to tell you you have one of these 2 issues, which were both neurologic issues, where my mind was so stressed that it was trying to protect itself, so it would kind of like force itself into this pattern where it was trying to basically protect itself from the stress. So trying to like de-stress me by itself. So, which was weird because it just stressed me out more. But so that's where I was at until the results of all these tests came back. We got the MRI test result back yesterday, and they called me into the office. They said, you need to come in. We need to talk about these results. And, you know, I was thinking, she was so sure that it was going to be like a neurologic issue, not, you know, a medical issue. So I just figured we'd have to talk about the test. And I told her, she's like, is there any way you can come in today? And I was like, well, I've got like my kids at school and stuff. Can I come afterwards, or, you know, a different day? She's like, no. She's like, you need to come now. So I had my mom come and get me. She took me to the neurologist, and the neurologist said that it's basically one of 2 things. The MRI showed that there is something in my brain, and it's a big something. It's most of the left side of my brain. No, that was the right side. So there's like a tumor in there, but it's not just like a tumor, like a mass. It's woven in through the whole left side of my brain. So it's inoperable. So one of the options is brain cancer, an inoperable brain cancer, which means I'm going to die from it. Or it's an autoimmune disease, and it's then most likely treatable. I asked her, I was like, so what are you thinking? She was leaning more towards the brain tumor. She's never really heard of an autoimmune that has the same side effects or symptoms, I guess, as what I was going through. But she's like, again, you need to go to an oncologist to tell, which they got me into right away. I just found out about this yesterday, and today I went to the oncologist, where the oncologist said basically all the same things. It's either an inoperable brain cancer, or it's one of a couple autoimmune disease options, but they need to do a whole slew of more blood work and a spinal tap and a brain biopsy. So they're going to do the spinal tap and the blood work hopefully today. I'm actually waiting for the hospital downtown to call me and let me know that they have a bed. So I will be going back to the hospital today and be admitted there for at least 4 days, where they'll do a slew of blood work and the spinal tap. Spinal tap is going to take about a week, they said, for the results to get back. And then I'm not sure if in the meantime they're going to do the brain biopsy, or if we're going to wait for the results of the spinal tap. Because if the spinal tap comes back and they find something, that's going to mean it's the immune, I can't remember things, that it's going to be the better of the 2, that, you know, the treatable problem. So that would be good, but it's going to take us a little bit to get those results. So anyway, I thought I'd come on here though and tell you guys, I'm a very open person. I tell people everything, so I thought maybe you guys would want to know. I don't know why. I feel like I owe it to you guys. Like, if there's anybody that was like maybe not counting on my videos. I'm sure I didn't make a difference in anybody's life or anything, but I have a few watchers that I talked to through the comments and stuff regularly, and I care about you guys. So I just wanted to put out there that I'm not leaving you guys, but I did want to tell you what was going on in my life to explain why I'm not there much anymore, and kind of share with you guys a little bit of what I'm going through. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to wait for the test result, I think, first before I make any, rash decisions. And I'll keep you guys posted. And that I can keep you guys updated on the health stuff. I'm kind of interested in seeing where it goes and what the, what prognoses are and treatments are and the process of it. Like, heaven forbid it's the brain cancer, just how it goes, like how the progress goes and stuff like that. But anyway, if you guys have anything to say, let me know. Please be kind. I'm a little sensitive right now. And I'll keep everybody up to date on stuff. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.